All right, let's talk about something that's happening in a ton of companies right now. A very common security practice that honestly could be the single biggest hole in your entire defense system. It sounds crazy, I know, but stick with me.
So let me ask you something. That message you just sent on your work computer, you think it's private, right? I mean, you see the little padlock, it's encrypted. But what if I told you that the very security software your company uses is designed to crack that open and read everything? Okay, to really get why this is such a huge deal, we've got to talk about TLS. That stands for Transport Layer Security. You've seen it a million times. It's the S in HTTPS, that little padlock icon in your browser. Think of it as the internet's sacred digital trust seal. It's the promise that your connection is private and secure from, prying eyes. So, if TLS is the thing that keeps us all safe online, why on earth are so many companies deliberately trying to break it for their own people? And get this, they're doing it all in the name of security. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Well, that's exactly the puzzle we're going to piece together.
It all starts with a promise, a really, really tempting one. Security vendors come in and they sell this idea of a magic box, a single solution that gives you total visibility. It sees all, it knows all, and it stops all the bad guys.
And look, on the surface, it sounds like a no-brainer. They say, hey, you've got all this encrypted traffic. How do you know malware isn't hiding in there? How do you know your secret company data isn't being smuggled out? So they sell this dream. Total visibility equals total security.
But how does this magic box actually work? How does it see inside all that encrypted stuff? Well, this is where we need to pull back the curtain, because the how is where this whole thing starts to fall apart. Okay, here's the deal. The tool basically wedges itself between you and the internet. It intercepts everything you send, strips away the real encryption, takes a peek inside, and then slaps its own encryption back on before sending it off. So yeah, you still see a padlock in your browser, but it's not the real one. It's a company-issued fake.
And this is the kicker. Check this out. The process I just described, intercept traffic, break encryption, read the data, re-encrypt with a new key, that is the textbook definition of a classic man-in-the-middle attack. So the security tool you bought to protect you is literally performing the exact same attack that TLS was invented to stop. Wild, right?
So this isn't just some philosophical debate about privacy. This practice can actually make your company's security way, way worse. Let's dig into how. All right, think about how the internet is supposed to work. Trust is spread out across dozens and dozens of highly secure global organizations called certificate authorities. The odds of a hacker taking down all of them at once, it's basically zero. The system is strong because it's decentralized. Now, compare that to this TLS inspection setup. You've just thrown that whole robust system out the window. Now, your entire company's security, every single piece of data, depends on one single private key sitting on a server somewhere in your office. What are the odds of that one key getting stolen? Through a phishing email? A simple mistake? An angry employee? All of a sudden, that risk is looking a whole lot higher, isn't it? And if that one key gets out, it's game over. An attacker doesn't just get a little bit of data, they get the keys to the entire kingdom. They can silently read everything. HR files, financial reports, even your personal bank login when you check it at lunch. You've basically created a single master key for your worst enemy to find.
Someone put it this way, and it's perfect. Would you print out your therapy notes and pin them to the kitchen notice board? Of course not. But that's essentially what this is. It's not just about work stuff. It's your medical info, private chats, everything is being laid bare. Okay, but the danger isn't just about a single stolen key. There's a sneakier problem here. This whole practice starts to create really, really bad habits, especially for your tech-savvy employees. For starters, just trying to implement this is a huge pain. You have to get that special company certificate onto every single device, right? But Windows does it one way, Macs do it another, then you've got Linux, different programming languages like Java with their own key stores, all of the hundreds of different apps running in Kubernetes. It's an absolute administrative nightmare, and you are pretty much guaranteed to miss something. And here's what happens next. Because you inevitably missed a spot, a developer goes to run a tool, and bam, it breaks. They get a big, scary TLS security error. But they've seen this before. They know it's probably just the corporate proxy messing things up again. So what do? To get their work done, they just bypass the warning. They type in a command like curl-k, basically telling it, ignore the security warning.
And that becomes the default response. Oh, it's probably just the corporate proxy again. A critical security warning, the internet's big red alert system, just becomes background noise. You've effectively trained your smartest people to ignore the very warnings designed to protect them from real attacks.
So if breaking encryption is such a bad idea, what's the alternative? Are we just supposed to fly blind? No, not at all. The good news is there are much smarter, more modern ways to handle security.
See, the security world has moved on. The smart approach isn't to crack open every single conversation. It's to look at other signals. You've got things like zero trust architecture, which basically means trust no one, verify everything. You've got endpoint detection, which watches for weird behavior on laptops and servers. You can analyze network traffic patterns for anomalies. These are all ways to catch bad guys without blowing up the foundation of internet privacy.
And the best part? These methods are designed for the world we live in now. They work with the cloud, they work with encryption, they don't fight against it. You get the security you need without creating a massive, fragile target.
So here's the bottom line. You don't need to create a giant single point of failure to feel secure. The whole idea that you have to choose between security and privacy, it's a false choice. And frankly, it's a choice that actually makes you far less secure in the long run.
So it really leaves you with one big question to ask about your own company's setup. Is your security tool actually an asset, or has it become a liability in disguise? Is it a shield, or is it a Trojan horse you willingly rolled right through the front gate?